Here we have the Waltons Mellow, made in Dublin, Ireland by the Waltons Company, previously known as Sudlums. I actually have a Sudlums version of the same whistle that I will be doing a demo of later in the series. It is a brass body, and for the Mellow they use the wider bore brass body that they also use to make their sea whistles. The Walton Sea whistle was the first whistle that I ever owned, and I loved it. I ended up getting a couple of other whistles before I got this one, and it is still one of my favorites. It's one of the few brass whistles that I tend to favor and play with a lot. I would probably prefer it if they would go ahead and do a nickel-plated version. But that said, this whistle is very easy to play. I've done the blue tack, did a little retune, but honestly, it wasn't bad to begin with. Pretty easy in terms of fingering and squeaks. The wider bore seems to kind of mitigate some of the shrillness and volume difference in the upper octave, although not all of it. In terms of the tone it has a nice, mellow, middle-of-the-road tone. It's not too breathy or hissy. It's actually a little on the pure side, and I like it for that. I think it's great. Certainly a sweeter tone than the sweet tone. If I had to say there were cons with this whistle, I would mention that the wider bore does make it require a little more breath, and so it is interesting for playing a more standard D whistle and then go to play the same tune on this whistle. You'll find that you're probably having to take more breath stops or find ways to work breaths into the pattern of the tune. Other than that, this is still one of my top recommendations for a whistle for a beginner. Nice, fairly even tone, easy to handle. They come right out of the factory with mouthpieces that sound pretty decent. It's really hard to find fault with the old Waltons Mellow. It's actually great. For someone who prefers like the Clark style whistle or learned on that style whistle, then it's not for you, maybe. But for the rest of us, this is a really great starter whistle, and you can get a hold of them for, I don't know, about $10 US. That was the Waltons Mellow. It's one of my favorite whistles of all time, and really a great value. Good place to start for any beginner. You can really learn your chops, as well as develop some decent breath playing this whistle. That's all for this week. I look forward to next week, and we'll play something entirely different.